Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and this is our sports ticker. Earlier today, the Nebraska rifle schedule came out. The schedule is highlighted by matchups against the reigning champion TCU and runner-up Kentucky. The Huskers are coming off of an 8th place finish and will compete at least once against every team that qualified for the championships last season. To see the full schedule and more information, visit Huskers.com. The Olympics are in full swing, so here are some of the highlights from today's action. The U.S. women's volleyball team fell to China in 5 sets today. Former Huskers Justine Wongerantes had 17 digs and 12 successful receptions. Kelsey Robinson-Cook recorded 15 successful receptions and 3 kills, and Jordan Larson had 4 kills. In women's rugby, the United States defeated Great Britain 17-7 in the quarterfinal match. The U.S. women's basketball team defeated Japan 102-76 today. Asia Wilson had 24 points and 13 rebounds. And Brianna Stewart added 22 points and 8 rebounds in the win. And to close it out, the U.S. men's gymnastics team earned the bronze medal today. It's the first time that the men's team has won a medal since 2008. Japan won gold, while China took home silver. And finally, one Major League Baseball game of note as Cade Povich gets the start on the mound for the Orioles as they take on the Blue Jays. That game is currently in a weather delay and has yet to start. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich gonna step and back, little G belly action. As a man wide open, it's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska's serving specialist. Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over, block back by Becker, and it does. Becca, Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a 3 on the way. Got it again! Another 3. Williams on fire.
Jazz Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer. You betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's at a strike here on Gabe Swanson, the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome to our Monday edition of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hope you had a great weekend. Football camp about to open. The guys are moving into the dorms tomorrow. First practice will be on Wednesday. We're going to hear from a bunch of the coaches tomorrow, the head coach, the coordinator. Some players are going to be made available. Looking forward to it. We've waited a long time to get this camp open, and it's about here. Less than 48 hours for the first camp for Husker football. Boy, that thermometer cranked up just in time. My car thermometer today said 100 degrees when I was driving around this afternoon. It's going to be nice and warm for the guys as they open up camp here this week. Jess, how was your weekend? I got to admit, I was kind of lazy. Just sat around and watched a bunch of Olympics.
I did too. We were texting about it earlier. I love the time difference where you can watch in the morning and afternoon, and it's not so bad where it's in the middle of the night or you have to wait till the NBC primetime. And I think NBC's done a good job of embracing, hey, people aren't going to wait for that packaged content during prime time. Let's take advantage of it all throughout the day. And so you've seen Mike Tirico anchoring coverage all throughout the day and going back and forth. And basically, it's like their primetime coverage during the day. And I've loved it. I've watched a lot of sports, and usually I have my same sports that I stick to that I'm a big fan of watching. But I've even explored, I've branched out and I've watched some rugby, some table tennis, and some other sports. But it's been fun. I've been all in all weekend, too. I've been enthralled with it, that's for sure. Watched every second of the volleyball match today, too.
I saw some mountain bike that was kind of cool. I had a gal from the United States got silver in that. That was really fun to watch that course. The U.S. currently with 20 medals. They lead the medal count. France, the home country, with 16. Japan has the most golds at this point. The Japanese have picked up 6 gold medals at this point, but it's still really, really early in the games. You mentioned a volleyball match, a 5-set loss for Team USA to China. China won the gold in 16. USA won the gold in the last Olympic Games. So this was a matchup of the last 2 gold medal teams. China won the first 2 sets, and then the United States came roaring back in a really good set 5. It was not a good day for Jordan Larson or Kelsey Robinson Cook. They both started the match, didn't play particularly well, got subbed out in sets 3 and 4. Well, hopefully they can bounce back and play better in the future matches. But as Camden said, Justine was phenomenal in the libero position today for Team USA. I told you about this earlier today, that ESPN.com, Jessica, has an amazing story about Jordan Larson and kind of the windy road that she has gone as a person as much as an athlete in her days. And I learned a lot about it. It's a great read. If you've not read it, folks, go to ESPN.com and pull it. You better set aside about 15 minutes. It'll take you a while to get through, but I learned a lot about Jordan Larson. I respect her probably even more after having read that. But sorry that she didn't play better today. They will try it again in a couple days and try to get it on the winning track. But that was a terrific match, pretty high caliber match with the Chinese.
Yeah, and same. I think at least 15 minutes, especially if you really want to take your time and savor it. I learned a lot too, and just even the struggles that she's gone through and becoming, her happiest self and some of the things that she's battled with. It was incredible, and she was incredibly honest, and I think a lot of people will. Because, I've said this a lot over the last few weeks because we've been doing these newcomer series, and you sit down and you talk with these incoming volleyball players, some of which were barely even born when she was playing here at Nebraska, but yet time and time again they say how she's their favorite player and how inspired they are by her. And so to hear her open up about some of the things, it hasn't all been, just this smooth and, no bumps in the road at all throughout her entire career, I think is great for a younger generation to, again, it's not perfect. And it's, there's even for the best of the best go through their own struggles. But it's incredibly moving. But in terms of the match, I was just reading an article on it. The head coach said, if you look at the statistics, it's pretty dang near even. And I thought the analyst on the broadcast, she did a great job. I was trying to look up who it was, but she was pointing out how in those first 2 sets, the United States needed to do a couple of mistakes that would have stopped the runs of China, would have made all the difference in the world. But those things add up in the moment. They don't seem like that big of a deal, but then they end up being huge deals when at the end of things, when it's all said and done, just stopping certain runs or keeping the United States in the game. So, hopefully first match jitters out of the way, and they can get better for it. I guarantee you, Jordan Larson, she'll be better for it next time around. She will not like how she performed and want to be much better next time around. By the way, my cousins were literally right behind the bench. They were sending me photos. I saw them on the entire broadcast, and I told them to yell some "Go Big Reds." I haven't followed back up to see if they did, but they were sending me pictures of Justine and Kelsey and Jordan the entire match. It was so cool. So they were definitely there in support, but they got to see a good match. It ended up being an incredible match. Unfortunately, the United States were on the wrong side of it.
Well, it's the last 2 gold medalists playing in that match. You knew it was going to be tough. The United States is in a tough pool. They're going to have a hard time getting out of pool play, and that's why today's match was so big. But they still have the opportunity to do that. Hopefully they're able to fight their way through. But, Jordan, and the headline of this article on ESPN.com talks about kind of the loneliness, and I get that. I mean, in professional volleyball, if you're going to go to try to make a living, you got to go to Europe. And a lot of times you're going by yourself. And so you're separated from your family, you're separated from your home. And then you might bounce from Europe, playing for a club team over there, to go train with Team USA, which could be in Colorado, could be in California. And so you kind of live out of a suitcase in a lot of ways. And it's hard to kind of establish roots. It's hard to maybe have some stability in your life And while some people may go, wow, that's just glamorous, you're in Spain or France or whatever, you don't think about the opposite of that, that there's just not a real constant in your life. And I think Jordan, the piece points out, kind of was looking for a constant in her life, and she hasn't found it at this point in time. And it's just, in a way, it's kind of sad. I admire her courage, and I think she'll get there. She's got plenty of time left in her life, but at the very end of the piece, it does talk about, do you want to coach? Do you want to coach Nebraska at some point in time? So that it comes at the very end of the article. So, folks, it's well worth your time to go check that out.
And, Greg, I'll add to that, too, just when you were talking about the traveling overseas, it's the same thing that we've heard for women's basketball. So a lot of times you're traveling, they can only have one, maybe two Americans max on a roster. And so, you know, if you're the only American and nobody speaks your language, they might have a translator, might have somebody that can pick up a little bit enough to be able to translate. It's an incredibly difficult road, and that's why we've seen so much celebration from these former athletes and even the current athletes, both at the WNBA and this volleyball league, the new volleyball league, that this is growing and continues to grow and allow these opportunities that these players don't have to go overseas to play professionally, because there hasn't been enough money to be made in the WNBA and American volleyball here and professionally. And so that's what you have to do to continue to play if you want to. And it's incredibly lonely. It's incredibly difficult. And so, you know, that's why I continue to celebrate. And I know a lot of the women's athletes continue to celebrate the growth of these professional leagues, so that some of these current student athletes that are coming through or continuing to come to Nebraska and then going on to maybe chase those professional careers, they don't have to have that continue to have that really difficult lifestyle, that they maybe can make it work here in the United States and not have to travel so much, because it is, and we've heard it time and time again, just how incredibly difficult that lifestyle can be if you want to play professionally after college.
So Team USA not out of it. They probably do need to win their next match, which is in a couple of days. I know you're a big swimming fan. Have you enjoyed some of the action in the pool? Been some remarkable races in the first couple of days in the pool. Yes, I love it. I have been tuned in live on those the entire time. So it's been, you know, it's been built up between this rivalry between the Australian and United States women. So every time I find myself, every time an Aussie is in the pool, like not wanting them to win or be on the podium because they're tracking the medal count between the two. I saw somewhere that someone was breaking it down that the United States women probably will end up getting more total medals, but Australian will end up having more gold. But that's been a fun rivalry to chase. They had a deal with Michael Phelps during the Olympic trials that they showed him an interview that one of the Aussies did talking about the United States, and he goes, oh, that makes me want to get in the pool right now. I am fired up. So it's kind of led to this drama, this storyline to follow in the pool, on top of just, I love the sport and I love watching it. So yes, it's been fun. And then the French guy who ended up winning on home soil, that's a rare thing. And every time he'd do the breaststroke, he'd come up and he could hear it. They were chanting, like timing out when he was breathing. That was awesome. So there's just been a lot of fun stories, and it's really just getting started. We haven't seen much of Katie Ledecky yet either. And you know, she's arguably the best women's swimmer in history. And so it's really just starting to get going, and it's already been so much fun to watch. The Team USA in swimming has a cowbell that I guess they ring when they introduce their swimmers to come out to take their spot, and I guess it drives the Aussies crazy. So they don't like that cowbell, where Team USA, that's kind of their rallying cries, is that cowbell. So those are those kind of inside stories you love to hear during the Olympic Games. That's what makes it so fun. How do you come down on Snoop Dogg? Are we seeing too much of Snoop Dogg at these events? No, I don't think so. And I think the athletes love it. So it's, you know, they're embracing it, and I'm fine with it. He's everywhere, though. He is all over these broadcasts. And now he's going to be a coach on The Voice. So they're pumping up that, too. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Yeah, he was a part of the opening ceremonies. He was out on the boat with Team USA, and then he's been at gymnastics. He's been at swimming. So I've seen him at a couple of different things. Basketball, I think he was at the basketball games the other day as well. So Olympics just getting cranked up. Going to be a fun couple of weeks to follow all that and follow the Huskers. There's 14 Husker athletes that are competing at the games in Paris. All right, here's what we have on the program tonight. We're going to continue our position breakdowns. Marcus Saterfield going to be here in a couple of minutes. obviously the offensive coordinator, but now the tight ends coach. Last year, quarterbacks coach. Now he's went to tight ends. We'll get his thoughts about that. Thoughts about the offense coming out of spring ball from Coach Sat coming up here in a little bit as well. Ben McLaughlin's going to join us in hour 2. A lot of things have happened in a lot of positive ways for Husker baseball. Now that the draft is behind Will Bolt's squad, what's the makeup of the team look like? What's summer ball been for some of these guys who've traveled to different parts of the country to play some summer baseball? We'll get a full rundown from Ben coming up with that in hour number 2. And we want you to be a part of the show as well, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text as we roll along on Mondays. I'll be honest, Jess, I'm glad I don't have to move into the dorms. I don't know that I could do it.
Yeah, I don't know either. I
like my cozy bed.
Yeah, and just because I'm assuming that they don't have their own bathrooms either. So,
nope.
Just all your stuff and yeah, no, although they do seem to have a lot of fun playing cards. I wonder if that'll be a thing again this year, playing cards. And remember they had all the pranks last year? That's right. So maybe we'll see some of those fun storylines coming out of it, but I'm glad it's them and not me, that's for sure.
That's right. Move in tomorrow afternoon. They're moving into the dorm. Selleck is where they're going back to again this year. Well, hey, Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up now for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Husker Athletics and your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Go visit your local Hy-Vee today. All right, when we come back, Marcus Saterfield will be here, Husker OC and tight ends coach. We'll dive into that tight ends room with Coach Sat. We'll do that coming up next.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Tonight we continue our position breakdowns. We're going to talk tight ends with offensive coordinator and now tight ends coach Marcus Saterfield. Good to see you. Summer okay? Did you get a little golf in the last couple of weeks?
Got a little golf, but I'm ready for football right now.
I bet. Before we dive into the room, just give me your thoughts about how you came out of spring. How did you feel like the offense grew and you're dealing with some young quarterbacks? How was the progression during the spring practice sessions for you?
I was very pleased. We had a huge emphasis on protecting the football and playing clean football, and I think that we did that throughout the spring, got better as the spring went through. I felt like we became more explosive this spring throwing the football. It was a huge emphasis. We love to run the football, and, we can manufacture ways to run the football, but we said going into spring, we have to throw the football. I have to be able to throw the football. And I think we came out feeling that we improved and are in a position to continue to improve to get to where we need to be to throw the football this year.
A lot of new faces mixed into the spring, but how about the retention from the guys from the season before? Was that good?
Oh, really good. Yeah. This is a great group of men to work with. It's fun to be around them, just to watch them work and how they're a great team. And we have really good teammates on our team. So it's really been a fun process to watch them go from spring to summer to now, just how they've worked and just, like you said, retained a lot of the information needed, but just, all the new stuff we've put in, they've attacked it and feel like we're in a really good place.
You ever been a part of a team that had that kind of a turnover margin like we experienced last fall?
Never. And it's one of those things that you work it, you talk about it, you practice it, and it was like, I don't know, I've never been a part of it, but it's not going to happen again. It can't happen again. And I think that, it's more the players understand it. The coaches obviously understand, but the players understand that, we have to take care of the football. And that was a huge reason that it could have been a total different season last year if we just fumble half as much as we did. So, don't want to jinx this by continuing to just keep talking about it. But, that's one thing that we are going to make sure that never happens again.
I've told people that number, and they're like, how'd you win 5 games?
Yeah.
That's the thing. This team was probably capable of winning a lot more had they been able to tamp that down even and cut it in half.
No, you're exactly right. But something we got to make sure we get fixed.
No, and I know it'll be a huge emphasis for you once practice gets going here in a couple of days. All right, you're now handling the tight end room. Your thoughts about that? How's that been for you?
Originally, that's what I came here to do, and so it was good to get Glenn back. Me and Glenn and Coach were together at Temple, and there was a lot of familiarity, same thought, how to play football and coach football, so that was good. But I love coaching the tight ends. That's probably more my mindset. I'm a little bit, I'm an emotional guy, and it's probably not good for quarterbacks all the time, so it's good to get in there with the room that I have. Really proud of the room. I thought that they took a huge step this spring, especially from a productivity standpoint, like being able to get the ball in their hands, especially Thomas and Nate and Luke, just getting the ball in hands in space and letting those big athletic bodies do what they do.
Thomas certainly, I thought, made progress as the fall went along. He trusted himself more, probably trusted his legs to not fall apart because he certainly had injury problems. But he's not close to his ceiling yet, is he?
He's had an unbelievable – he looks like a different guy right now. I mean, he's moving very well. He's humongous. He's, I think, 250, 255 right now and can absolutely roll. His ball skills continue to improve. He's got really good ball skills, but, I mean, that's something he works every day. The great thing about Thomas is he's obsessed with being the best version of himself. So he attacks it every day, and he's improved since spring ball. So it's been really fun to watch him this summer.
Like to hear that. All right, let's talk about a couple guys that have been walk-ons into the program, but they certainly don't play like that, and that's Nate Borkature and Luke Lindenmeyer. Your thoughts about those two, and how big a part will they be of the 2024 Huskers?
Huge part. Nate has played a lot of football, big, physical, has, really good length, understands the offense. He's played a lot of football, so, the experience gives him an upper hand on a lot of situations. But, we rely on him very heavily just, to know all three different spots that the tight ends play. And then Luke, I think he showed just in the spring how valuable he is. He can split out. He can play that off-the-ball tight end. He can play on-the-ball tight end. He's got an unbelievable football mind like the other two do. Cool story about Luke is I train him. I coach him like a quarterback. He's got a high football IQ. I just teach him random things. And we were doing a thing in spring ball where we were doing our teams. And if you have a turnover or something, we make our people go touch a sign. So a quarterback fumbled a snap, but we had to continue to play. So the Bug Eaters are one of those teams. And so he runs out there and takes a snap and plays a snap at quarterback just to continue the drill. So he's one of those type of kids that can, he's just a football player.
Sometimes those of us, I'm guilty as well in the media, we pigeonhole guys and go, well, that's a pass-catching tight end, that's a blocking tight end. Your job is try to make all the guys pretty well-rounded, that they don't come in and out for certain situations.
Right. And, obviously they all have, things that they do, strengths that they do, that we have to put them in situations to use those. But the cool thing about those three is they can play all three positions, and they know it very, very well.
I was going to ask you about Carter Nelson, but last week Coach at Media Days talked about he's been moved to wide receiver. As OC, you just want him on the field making plays for you, I guess.
No doubt. And he can still do some of the things at the tight end position. We just thought what's the best way to get him on the field early is use what he does best, which is run and catch. So we wanted him to learn the passing game, and at least that allows him to get out there, because making a jump from high school to the Big Ten from a physicality standpoint, that's tough. And he definitely is going to have the ability to do that moving forward. But we thought, what's the best scenario we can put him in to get on the field? And we thought splitting him out, letting him play receiver first, and then bring him in the box as he develops.
And that transition from 8-man.
Yeah.
He's got that added thing that he hasn't played 11v11. Really,
yeah, but he's super competitive. He comes across as a quiet kid from Ainsworth, but you get him out there on the field, he's super, super competitive and tough, and he's fun to watch run around.
Do you like the fact that he played basketball and did track and field in the spring? Do you like the fact that he was?
Yeah, Coach will tell you all the time, we want guys that play all sports. We're not believers in just focus on one sport in high school. We want guys that compete at all different types of sports. So he does. Obviously, he's like Jim Thorpe. He did everything, and he's super athletic. So we're glad to have him on our team.
So Eric Ingerson, Ian Flint, two newbies into the program as well. Your thoughts about those guys?
Really excited. They got here this summer, and Ian got here in January. So Ian, had a whole off season to learn the offense and to practice against Big Ten, defensive linemen. Eric got here in the summer. Eric would come, during the spring into some of our meetings and stuff. But it's good to get those guys up and going. Eric's got a huge frame, and he's got tremendous upside. He's got great length. He is a very hyper-competitive human being that does not like to lose. He's very physical. Really excited about him. Ian has done a really nice job. Ian can play both on the ball and off the ball. He had a really good spring game, had a catch in the spring game, which was good to see. He scored a touchdown in one of the scrimmages. So as a true freshman just getting here, he's had some success that allows him to have confidence to develop into the players that we think they're going to be.
Well, I mentioned earlier that Nate, Luke have been walk-ons in this program. It's been a big part of the Nebraska football program moving forward, and hopefully this new 105 rule, we get that all figured out in the next 12 months. But I'm sure you have some other walk-ons in your room that you're excited about.
Yeah, really excited about Danny King, a kid from Minnesota. I think, from a physical standpoint, really pleased with where his progression has gone through this summer. Connor Shutt, super athletic kid that, I mean, he's like Carter, like really, run, jump. He's fast, great ball skills, great body control. So the room is in a good spot right now, and I think we got some young kids, whether they're scholarship or walk-ons, we don't really care. We got some young kids that I think are going to develop into some really good football players.
How about the work ethic of that room, and are they students of the game? You talked about Luke being a real student of the game, but your thoughts about them kind of preparing to get on the practice field. How do they do in that area?
I don't think you can survive in a tight end room in today's football unless you have a high football IQ and the willingness to learn the game of football, because you have to be, you have to learn, you have to run block, you have to know who you're run, the calls, the O-line calls, and who the points are and who you're going to. You have to pass protect. Sometimes you run with the football. Sometimes, obviously, you're going to catch and run with the football. You have to run routes and learn how to sink your hips and come in and out of break and learn coverages. So just the multiplicity of things that tight ends have to learn about the game of football, just going into a game, is a lot. So you got to have a big brain and a willingness to, an ability to learn.
Love it. All right, you've been through 1 year now, Big Ten football. These defenses are serious in this league, aren't they? I mean, there's some really good. It seems like every week we'd go, oh, this defense is ranked 12th in the country. Oh, this one's 8th in the country. How about the grind of this league now that you've been through it a year? Yeah, and it's even getting better. Like, everybody is kind of worried about the state of college football. I think we're in one of the best spots that we could possibly be in. Adding the new teams into the Big Ten is only going to make it tougher, but that's what we want. We want to be one of the two conferences. We want to be the best team in college football, and in order to do that, you got to play the best team. So we're super excited about it. It is a grind, but all good teams are going through that same grind. Who can grind the best? Who can consistently? We talk about it in our program, competitive stamina. Who can keep that up throughout the whole year and maintain focus and have the ability to have success? You ready for some warm temperatures? It's going to sound like it's going to get hot.
I am ready. Yes.
It's okay for early camp, right?
Yeah,
Guys sweat through
that's
it.
fall camp. We don't want it to be 80 degrees. We want to sweat and go through some things and callus up our bodies and get ready for that grind you were talking about.
You've been around this quite a while. Do you still get the juices flowing when a camp opens?
Yeah, still got the butterflies. Still kind of got that feeling of uncertainty, but that's why you do it. And you get out there and you feel the sense of urgency, and that kind of catapults you into the season. And it's why we do this. It's a great feeling.
Good luck. We're looking forward to it. I know there's a lot of work to be done between now and August 31st, but I'm confident you guys will be able to get that done.
For sure. Thank you.
Marcus Saterfield with us as we continue our position breakdowns. Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We are making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, your thoughts about a couple of the offensive questions I threw in there for Coach Satterfield and the tight end position. Love to hear it. 402-413-2400. We're back with more of the show next.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Experience luxury and performance at Woodhouse Lincoln. From the sophisticated Lincoln Navigator to the sleek Lincoln Corsair, our lineup combines cutting-edge technology with unparalleled comfort and style. From selecting the perfect vehicle to securing the best financing options, our team is here to assist you every step of the way. Come visit Woodhouse Lincoln at 144th and Giles Road or online at woodhouselincoln.com and explore all our current offers going on now.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Get signed up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee, the official grocery partner of Husker Athletics and your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Go visit your local Hy-Vee today. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Monday night sports hotline here on the Huskers Radio Network. Great to hear from Marcus Saterfield. I think he's really fired up about this. And Jess, I think there's a comfort level for him kind of making the switch from being with the quarterbacks all the time to being with the tight ends. I mean, that's the sense I got from him.
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating when he said, I'm probably too emotional to coach the quarterback, so tight ends are just a better fit for me. And as we all know, that's what he was supposed to coach coming into last year, but then the changes happened and he took over the quarterback. So he seems to be loving that group. That group loves him. I mean, I talked to 3 of them over the summer pretty extensively, and all of them just raved about all that they're learning and understanding within the offense. And, I think he's got a lot of different weapons, and you brought up a good point about we do maybe pigeonhole a few of them a little bit, but I think for all of them, they're all trying to be where they can do everything for this offense and be all kinds of weapons, whatever they can stay on the field. I think especially for a guy like Thomas Fidone, who wants to stay on the field and be out there no matter what in any given situation. I can't wait to see his progress. We've talked a lot about him going into this season, and he had some flashes, but he talked to me about going into the last season, he felt like he was ready and that he felt good, but then he realized as it went along that it just takes time to get into a feel of how the game is and what it's like, because that was his first season of college football, which is hard to believe. And so by the end of it, he really started to settle in. And so I cannot wait to see the jump that he takes and, under the tutelage of Satterfield. And I think he's going to be an absolutely massive weapon for this team this year.
Well, we're going to hear from Glenn Thomas later in the week, and he's the reason that Marcus got a chance to slide away from the quarterbacks to the tight ends. And, it's kind of the 3 amigos, right? You got Rural, Satterfield, and Thomas, who've been together before. And I get the sense, I haven't talked to Coach Rural about this, but I've talked to the other 2, they're really glad to be kind of back together and that they've picked up right where they left off in one of their last stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I even heard Garrett McGuire was even talking about that too, that he played for Coach Thomas at Baylor, and just a lot of the same verbiage and just the nuances of how they do things and what their expectations are and how they go about doing certain drills. It's just familiar. And so he was able to come right in and fit right back in. And, now there's multiple guys that are familiar with each other that have worked together. I just think that continues to make an offense flow well, and we'll be able to take a big step this year. And there's no question that Glenn Thomas is great at developing quarterbacks. We've seen that too. So I think it's all. I think they feel good about the dynamics of where the staff is on that side of the ball for sure.
Coming off of a junior weekend, they had a lot of the top juniors in the state of Nebraska visit Lincoln over the weekend. They also had some big-name recruits that were on campus. I'm going to bring Camden into the discussion here because you were our eyes on Friday. David Sanders, a 5-star offensive lineman, was back in Lincoln for a second visit. Husker Nation was challenged by what we think will be QB1 and Dylan Raiola to come out and welcome David to the Osborne Complex at about 5:15 on Friday. Now, Camden, you were in the studio getting ready to play our Best Of show that night. You were sending me some pictures. There was a pretty good little crowd there, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. I'd say, I don't know, probably around 100 people. But they were there pretty early, too, because I rolled in at probably 4:40 or so. And, I mean, there were probably 20, 30 people already gathered. So I was impressed, really.
A couple volleyball players you said were on hand. The coaching staff was out there. That was pretty nice representation.
Yeah, they were just mingling around before David Sanders got there. Laney Choboy, Harper Murray, and Andy Jackson, I think, were the volleyball players that were there. And then, Coach Rule came out and started taking pictures and signing autographs with a bunch of kids and whatnot. And so it was kind of just a cool little event. It was very short. Once the recruit arrived, I mean, there was maybe 5 minutes of stuff around the new facility, and he just took videos and whatnot. And then after that, I mean, everyone just scattered because then he went on his visit.
Off he went. He ended up then going to Tennessee on Saturday. A lot of people think it's down to the Volunteers and the Cornhuskers for David Sanders. But, Jess, I love the fact that Dylan is taking such a forward approach with this. He's so involved, and you love that. I mean, this is a guy who I think we believe is going to be the #1 quarterback. That's not been set in stone or announced by Coach Rule, but he's certainly being on the forefront of doing some of these. When big-name guys come on campus, he's right there with them. I love it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but how many places in the country do you go to and there's a welcoming party? I don't care what the size is, but, it's just that people answered his call and were there, and that he at least had a crowd greeting him as he walked into the new facility and got to start his visit off with a bang like that. And, yeah, I mean, I think it goes to show you just how much Dylan does care about this program and, its future and setting it on the right path in whatever role that he can play, certainly on the field and off of it. And he's been big in recruiting, since he committed. And I just, it's really neat to see. And it's important for your QB1 to do that. And he's certainly making waves. And from what I understand, the recruit, it was a good visit, and he really liked his time here, that it really stood out to him. So that's good.
Seems to be some momentum going. And the Huskers, we talked about this kind of back in mid-June. A little bit slow start to this class, but in the last 4 or 5 weeks, they have really added some names. They've added some guys with really good reputations to this recruiting class. So you can kind of sense the momentum within the program and that phase of the team. Obviously, you've got to back it up now with wins starting on August 31st with UTEP. You got to back up the recruiting momentum with victories on the field. That's the next phase, and that's what will begin tomorrow when they report for camp and then stay at the first practice on Wednesday. You can't do one without the other. You can't recruit well unless it's kind of the chicken and the egg. You better, and now it's year 2. It's not year 1, it's year 2. Recruits are going to want to see some proof in the pudding. Are you making progress as a program? And that's where it all comes down to Saturdays. Can we start winning some games on Saturdays? Woodhouse Auto Family, well, folks, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back to wrap up hour 1, 402-413-2400 if you want to fire off a text or a call. We'll wrap up hour one next.
Shop our exceptional lineup of SUVs at Woodhouse Mazda during the Mazda Find Out event, like the spacious and sporty 2024 Mazda CX-30, packed with advanced safety features and cutting-edge technology that offers peace of mind with every drive. Starting MSRP $26,415. Discover the 2024 Mazda CX-30 today in Bellevue or off 144th and Giles Road, or visit us online at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com and explore our current offers happening now. Serving our customers for over 20 years. This is Woodhouse Mazda.
Husker fans, get ready for another thrilling season at Hibner Stadium with the reigning Big Ten champion Nebraska soccer team. Season tickets for the 2024 season are on sale now. Don't miss your chance to support the Huskers as they go head-to-head with some of the top teams in the country, including Oklahoma State, Penn State, and Duke. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a Monday night. We talk about camp opening this week for the Huskers. The NFL camps have been open for a while. Apparently, the Jets had a sloppy practice today, and their quarterback Aaron Rodgers got after the team pretty good. The center snaps were bad. He had a wide receiver drop a pass that turned into an interception. He got all over his teammates. Aaron Rodgers doesn't mess around. I want Jessica, though, her opinion on Joe Burrow's new do. The Cincinnati Bengals quarterback, one, he kind of shaved his head down, but he turned it blonde. It looks totally different to me. I don't know if I like this or not.
I kind of like the look, actually. A little bit different look, but I feel like he can do whatever he wants and pull it off. And he's got a huge fan base. It's pretty crazy how big of a following he has, because it's not like he's super out there, I don't feel like, compared to some other of the quarterbacks that are in the league. But yeah, he's got a lot of following. I like it. I think, you know what, change up your look from time to time. Go for it. I don't mind it.
Well, he kind of did. I mean, if you've not seen it, folks, go look for some pictures. But it's a stark contrast to what you kind of picture in your mind Joe Burrow looking like. But it's okay. Shake things up. Have some fun, create a little bit of buzz. I think that's fine to do that.
Unless, has anybody asked him why he did it? I mean, did he lose a bet or anything?
Not that I've seen. Maybe Cam did. Cam, did you know? I've not seen why he. I've not seen him give a reason. What was the
driving force behind it?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. Cam was telling me he's already done one of his fantasy football drafts. That seems early.
Wow.
We haven't even had a preseason game yet. You've got your team together, huh?
I think I do. We'll see.
You know, Greg, hey, going back to the Aaron Rodgers comment, I've talked to a couple different guys that have been in the locker room with him and said, I mean, he is a teammate that he's unlike any other teammate that people, the two guys that I've talked with that they play with, and his standards are very, very high, and he challenges guys, and he wants them to see things and understand, especially on the offensive side of the ball, the way he does, and that he's not by any means a friendly character, if you know what I mean.
I think a lot of the really good ones are that way. I think, can't you see Brady being that way? I think Brady was probably definitely that way. Peyton Manning, I have a little bit harder time seen Peyton jumping teammates, but maybe he did. I think Mahomes gets after teammates. I think there's an extra gene in those guys of competitiveness that they demand you lift your game up, knowing that you probably can't get to their level, but get close to my level so that we can be a winning team. I think it's if I'm the Jets ownership or GM, I'm loving this. I'm like, wow, this is great. Our number one guy is getting after people. I think that's fantastic.
I feel like Mahomes, though, is very, very well liked. I don't know if Rodgers is well liked, more so respected.
Agreed.
So
I agree.
I think there are some quarterbacks. Like I think probably Peyton Manning was a little bit of both. Like I'm sure he was hard on guys, but I think he was also well liked. He seems to be by teammates that played with him. So I feel like there's a rarity, though, the guys that are well liked and well respected, and there are certain guys that are they're just respected and they're not well liked because they're tough. They're tough to be in the room with, but hey, they're going to go win a lot of football games, so you want to play with them, but it's not like, hey, we're chummy buds on and off the field.
Hall of Fame is this weekend for the NFL, so the Hall of Fame game is just less than a week away, so the exhibition season for the NFL is here. I was watching the Olympics last night, and they were showing sand volleyball, or beach volleyball, I should say. Chase Budinger, who was a terrific basketball player, played in the NBA for several years. He's now a beach volleyball player and playing for Team USA. That's a remarkable story that I did not know. And I remember Chase Budinger when he came out of high school, highly, highly recruited kid out of high school, ended up going to Arizona playing for the Wildcats, and then bounced around the NBA for a few years. But now he's part of a two-man team in beach volleyball. These are the little stories that I pick up on that I didn't realize before the Olympics. But good for him. They won last night. I stayed up pretty late last night to watch them win that beach volleyball season. That's a cool little deal.
Well, a lot of the skills in basketball, I feel like, do translate to volleyball, and we've heard that a lot from I've heard that a lot from a lot of the volleyball players, and even Alexis Markowski, who was a great volleyball player, has said the skills translate a little bit between the two sports. But how did he get into it where he became Olympian? Did they break down that story? Like how he got into volleyball?
He decided to step away from the NBA and said, I'm going to give this a try, and just kind of worked his way through it. And my goodness, I mean.
Did he have a background in volleyball?
He had played some in high school. So, and he's a West Coast guy where boys volleyball at the high school level is a lot more prevalent than it is here in this part of the country. So he had done some of that. But he spent 7 years in the NBA with the Rockets and the Timberwolves for most of it. But then said this was a dream of his, try to make the Olympic team, and he has done it. So good for him. And playing for Team USA. Hey, what a fast hour. Coming up next hour, we're going to talk some baseball with Ben McLaughlin. We'll continue previewing Husker football camp, which gets open tomorrow. The guys move into the dorms, leave the comfort of their own dorms or their own apartments for a couple of weeks. The coaches are going to join them again. The coaches, a couple of them I talked to a few weeks ago, weren't sure if they were going to be required to do that. They are. They're moving in tomorrow as well. So everybody's going over there to Selleck Hall tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day for media. We'll be hearing from Coach Rural, the coordinators. Jess will be able to chance to talk to a couple of the players. So big show tomorrow night coming your way with a recap of all of that media availability. One down, one to go on a Monday night. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Discover a better car buying experience at Woodhouse Nissan. With 2 convenient locations in Bellevue and Omaha off of 144th and Giles Road. Explore our full lineup of vehicles like the sleek and efficient Nissan Sentra with advanced safety features, including the Nissan Safety Shield 360 that ensure peace of mind for your daily drive. Shop our current offers going on right now at woodhousenissan.com or woodhouseplacenissan.com today. This is Woodhouse Nissan.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and this is our Sports Ticker. Earlier today, the Nebraska rifle schedule came out. The schedule is highlighted by matchups against the reigning champion TCU and runner-up Kentucky. The Huskers are coming off of an 8th place finish and will compete at least once against every team that qualified for the championships last season. To see the full schedule and for more information, visit Huskers.com. The Olympics are in full swing, so here are some of the highlights from today's action. The U.S. women's volleyball team fell to China in 5 sets today. Former Huskers Justine Wangarates had 17 digs and 12 successful receptions. Kelsey Robinson-Cook recorded 15 successful receptions and 3 kills, and Jordan Larson had 4 kills. In women's rugby, the United States defeated Great Britain 17-7 in the quarterfinal match. The U.S. women's basketball team defeated Japan 102-76 today. Asia Wilson had 24 points and 13 rebounds, and Brianna Stewart added 22 points and 8 rebounds in the win. And to close it out, the U.S. men's gymnastics team earned the bronze medal today. It's the first time that the men's team has won a medal since 2008. Japan won gold while China took home silver. And one Major League Baseball game of note, as Cade Povich gets the start on the mound for the Orioles as they take on the Blue Jays. That game is currently in a weather delay and is yet to start. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich gonna step in back, little G belly action as a man wide open. It's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska serving specialist Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over block back by Becca, and it does. Becca Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a 3 on the way. Got it again! Another 3. Williams on fire.
Yeah, Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer. You betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's at a strike here on Gabe Swanson the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And we're back, hour number 2. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend, the last weekend of July, because next weekend we'll be into the month of August.
Stop it.
Football is here. How about that?
I mean, I'm ready for football, but I can't believe it's already August. It just was July. It was just July 4th yesterday.
July flew by. It normally doesn't, but this year it seemed like it just flew right on by. You had some family members at that USA volleyball match today, right?
Yes. So I didn't realize, they told me they were going, but I didn't realize their seats were literally right behind the bench. They were having to move around. I could see them on TV to see between the players that were on the bench. And so they were right there. And unfortunately, USA didn't win, but they got to see an incredible match. It ended up being very competitive and was a highly entertaining match as the USA tried to come back. But yeah, I told them, I made sure, hey, if you get close enough to any of the 3 Huskers, make sure you yell "Go Big Red." They told me they were going to, so I got to follow up with them tomorrow and see. But they went to the table tennis. They've been to actual regular tennis, and I think they're going to gymnastics, maybe the finals tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're making their way around. I mean, the crowds have been really good for all these events. I mean, most of the venues look like they've been fairly full for the various events that I've watched. So good for them. And
it sounds like there's a lot of Americans there. Like, you know, when the United States team, for any team, for whether it's swimming or gymnastics, and I understand some of them are big enough names that around the world fans are fans of them, but it's been pretty remarkable too to hear the loud roars for even the United States athletes in Paris. I think a lot of Americans traveled over there.
That's fantastic, and I'm glad your family members are getting a chance to go soak it in and really feel the whole Olympic experience. The women's basketball team, no trouble today. They beat Japan, a team that they played for the gold medal against a couple years ago. Really wasn't that close. I don't see anybody that really should challenge them. There's still a wide gap between U.S. women and the rest of the world. I think the rest of the world's getting a little better, but it's still a big gap, at least in my eyes, as I watch these games.
Yeah, and I think that's where some of the argument stands for leaving off the players like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I mean, the argument was, we want to take the veteran players, but don't you want to start getting the next generation of USA players ready to go defend the Olympic gold? I mean, they were talking today how of all the sports, that's the one that's the United States is the most dominating favorite. That it's not even, I guess maybe women's gymnastics, but women's basketball, they are so far apart from the rest of the world that maybe you'd want to start getting the next set of players ready, but they'll handle business and get the gold. If not, it will be a massive upset. That's for sure.
Yeah. Women's gym got the silver 3 years ago. Russia beat them. Russia not in these games because of the war in Ukraine. The IOC has banned Russia, so they're not there, which is too bad because I would have loved to see the U.S. women in women's gym compete against Russia, the team that took the gold away from them 3 years ago in Tokyo.
Which, granted, there was a lot of issues with Simone not competing, and
true.
They weren't at their best. They were the heavy favorites, but Russia a little bit got it handed to them on a silver platter, I think.
Yeah, I think they would have too. Now, the women weren't perfect last night. They had some stumbles and some falls in the first night to qualify for the team finals, which are tomorrow. But Simone was terrific, even though she has a calf strain that she's dealing with right now. But she was fantastic. Particularly her floor routine was just out of this world last night. All right, for you Husker basketball fans, Jack McVay and Australia are going to play Canada tomorrow, 6:30 in the morning. Jack had a really good opening game at 13 points for Team Australia. And then Keisei and Japan will play France, the home team, at 10:15 tomorrow. Keisei did not score, did not take a shot in Japan's opening game. They got beat pretty good by Germany, so maybe he'll get a little more court time tomorrow. But McVay
Greg,
at 6:30.
I got up early to watch Keisei, and I was so disappointed he didn't even play unless he got. I stopped watching at the end, but I don't even know if he ended up getting to play. He didn't play at all for the time I was watching, and I just kept thinking, he'll get in. And then hopefully he gets some playing time here over these next few games. And France is good. They'll have their work cut out for them tomorrow. France is a really, really good team. The men will play again on Wednesday is their next matchup over there, and they played pretty well. Kevin Durant was unconscious yesterday. Came off the bench, hadn't played in any of the warm-up games, and he hit his first 8 shots. It was crazy. Yeah, he was on fire. He couldn't miss. He's the kind of guy that on this level can be a huge matchup problem. He just is unlike really any other player in the world when he is on, and so I think for Team USA very well could be somebody different every night, and it just so happened to be Kevin Durant. But when he is on, he's pretty tough to defend for opposing teams. How about Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics, first team All-NBA, didn't get in their game yesterday. I think it was an oversight because Steve Kerr afterwards said, I'm an idiot for not getting him in there. He goes, we talked before the game that his role would be diminished some with Durant being able to play. But I don't think the intention was to not play Tatum at all. So he doesn't even leave the bench. That's a first-team All-NBA guy. They don't even get in the game against Serbia yesterday, but they obviously didn't need him. They rolled to that victory. It's been pretty cool to see, though, as you watch these highlights for the Olympic men's basketball, how many players now you recognize on pretty much every other team because of how much of the foreign players are now in the NBA and are going back and playing for their teams. But it's almost like every team that you watch, that you tune in to see, there's a player that you recognize that plays in the NBA.
No doubt. I think they said 30-some NBA players in this tournament, so there's a lot of NBA representation, obviously the entire Team USA. But you're right. The men's side of basketball has really overtaken the world, and that's why U.S. is not a shoo-in to win the gold. They're going to have to play well to win the gold medal. Justin in the chat room wanted to remind us, hey, guys, don't forget Adrian Martinez, now a member of the Jets. We were talking at the end of last hour about Aaron Rodgers getting after his teammates at a Jets practice today. And absolutely, Justin, congrats to Adrian. I'm sure been waiting for that phone to ring, Jess, and he should. He was the MVP of that UFL league in the spring. I'm glad he's getting another crack at it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and Searles represents him, and he was here right when the championship game was about to happen, and he was saying that he will make a NFL team, that he was getting a lot of interest because of what he did over the last few months in that league, and said that, after he had left and then went to Kansas State and then went to the NFL for a little bit, they got him with a quarterbacks coach and really improved his throwing motion. He just has made tremendous strides and got a lot of great film put together. He was adamant that he was going to wind up on a team, and so I haven't had a chance to ask Searles about the fit with the Jets and why that was there, because it sounded like there were more than one team, that there's multiple teams that was interested. But good for him, and I'm happy for him, and he's put in the work, and hopefully he can stick around and make a team, and that'd be great for him.
Sure would be. It just takes one team for you to kind of fit a need, and that they appreciate your skill set. And Adrian's got a different skill set, obviously, than Aaron Rodgers. He's not a straight drop-back passer like Rodgers, but he would be a change-up from Rodgers to what he can do. So maybe the Jets kind of see him as a package guy that they can certainly change their look if Rodgers were to get hurt again. And Rodgers is not a young guy. He got hurt early last year. I think he got hurt in game 1 for the Jets last year. So hopefully that works for Adrian. And good luck to all the former Huskers that are into camps right now trying to make NFL teams. We're rooting for you.
How great, too, is that league now that, there's just not very many spots, right, on NFL rosters. But if you end up getting cut and you can go improve, maybe put some film together, and maybe you do get a second shot at it. Before, it's almost like you just keep hoping to make a practice squad, and it's just such a grind. But here's this other league that if you go perform well, maybe you get another shot. So it's a good opportunity there, and hopefully more stories like that come about from that league.
He was with the Lions last preseason, played quite a bit, got to play a lot in those exhibition games because they don't want their starters to hardly play at all. So the backups get a lot of reps, and I thought Adrian did pretty well. Little surprised they didn't keep Adrian on their practice squad because he did do some good things with the Lions last year. So maybe the Jets, he can turn that for the Jets. Folks, if problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Go visit lifeafterbet.com. Well, it's been a busy summer for Husker baseball and a lot of good news. Guys not leaving the program, guys not being drafted. Ben McLaughlin is going to join us next. We're going to recap the state of Husker baseball coming off of their Big Ten tournament title. We'll do that coming up next.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you can use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings, very possible. Playoffs, highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Delighted to be joined in studio by Ben McLaughlin. It's been too long. How are you?
I'm good. I've enjoyed the summer. It's summer. I can't believe we're already in the same month of a football game.
Right?
I feel like once the 4th of July hits, it just zips on by. Once Media Days is passed, it's like, okay, now we're all just counting down, ripping off the calendar days till we can kick this thing off.
First practice in 2 days.
Crazy.
About that.
Yeah.
And you've got some teams that are already practicing because they might play on Thursday.
Yep.
Or week 0, like our boys, Jeff Culhane's Florida State Seminoles. Wanted to talk, we'll get to some football here in a minute, but just want to talk about baseball. A lot has happened, and a lot of good things, right, have happened for the program. As you look back over the off-season headlines, what strikes you?
Well, first and foremost, really happy for Josh Caron to get drafted as high as he did to the Mariners. Cool organization, yeah. Cool team. Kind of one of the nice stories of Major League Baseball the last couple of years was Seattle. And, I remember being on a Florida station before the Stillwater Regional, and the Gators were asking me about Josh. And the cool thing about Josh, and you'll know this as well as anybody, is, yeah, he took major steps forward as a player every year, all 3 years, but think about where he was mentally as a freshman to where he finished at the end. I mean, this is a kid that was self-admittedly not in the right headspace. He was dealing with depression. He was homesick. He didn't want to be here. He didn't feel like he could compete at this level. And a lot of the coaches felt like once he left for his first season of summer ball, he wasn't going to come back. Well, of course, not only did he come back, he had a great summer in the Northwoods. He came back to Nebraska as confident as ever, started to see that transition a little bit, had a great start to the sophomore year, kind of tapered off a little bit there at the end of 2 years ago. And then this season was just an absolute force all year long. And, of course, the run that he had in Omaha was just magical, setting a Big Ten tournament record with home runs. And just hearing him be a vocal leader, just his physical presence, that was just so cool to see, his transformation over 3 years. And then the other one, Brett Sears, to see how fast, it took Josh 3 years. It took Brett about 3 months to do that. He had just a dynamite summer, and we heard from the coaches from the fall he's unhittable, and he's a completely different guy. And the consistency that he operated with all year was nothing short of phenomenal. And I'm really jacked for Brett that he gets a chance to pitch at the professional level, which was great. It's always fun this time of year paying attention to the summer league numbers and see what some of these guys are doing that are starting to get more at-bats or more innings. The two that pop off the page right now are Max Butenbach and the Northwoods. I think he's second right now in the Northwoods League with RBIs, and Ty Horn out west and Corvallis is just shoving and been electric. So, that's two guys that you would have loved to get valuable reps this summer, and they've taken the most of them. So it's always an interesting time of year for baseball.
Going back to the draft, you mentioned the guys that got picked. Maybe it's more important for the future of the program, the ones that didn't, right?
Yeah, and Gabe Swanson probably fresh on everybody's mind for the just alien mode he run he went on to finish the year. If it wasn't for Josh Caron, he was the Big Ten tournament most outstanding player. He single-handedly kept Nebraska in a couple games in the regional in Stillwater. He took Nebraska back from the abyss in the Niagara game, got Nebraska up to a 2-0 lead in the second game with Florida. And just starting to see him confident. I think he's going to pick up where he left off this fall. Hopefully he can continue it into next February. But that was a big one. And Drew Christo, this was a guy that was Nebraska's Friday night starter coming into the year. And typical Drew Christo fashion, kind of had an up and down season, then found a dynamite role, as a bullpen guy. Gave Nebraska a great start in the second game against Indiana in the Big Ten tournament. And I think you feel really good about getting him back. I think those are two guys that aren't portal wins, but you almost feel like the way that they are with the way that they finished last year. You weren't sure they were going to be back in Lincoln.
And the coaches always get nervous about the young men that they signed in November. Maybe somebody comes in but that didn't happen either. All that group that signed 8-9 months ago, they're all set to come to Lincoln.
They're all back. There was, I think, 3 names we were given to watch. None of them got picked, and that could be any number of reasons. Yeah. It could be number too high. It could be just talent evaluation from scouts. Even a couple of their portal guys, they were really worried about getting drafted. One of them an outfielder, two of them outfielders. One of them from the JUCO ranks, one of them from the Division I level. They were worried about potentially losing. Both of those guys are going to make it to Lincoln. So I think if you were to say, all right, what's best case scenario for the offseason? That's almost what it was. Josh Caron getting rewarded. Brett Sears as a senior was out of eligibility anyway. So I think it went about as good as Coach Bolt could have hoped for.
Talking with Dan McLaughlin here on Sports Night. And so I don't remember a year, and there probably has been one, where Nebraska is going to have so much of a core back. Usually you're sitting there going, man, don't know what the weekend rotation is going to look like at all. With McConaughey, you go, well, there's a Friday guy. And then you can just go around the infield and outfield and go, man, that guy's back, that guy's back. Catcher would be one spot with Caron's departure, but do you remember a year where this much depth is coming back?
No, and this will be one that you circle for maybe the next 10 years going forward with the way rosters turn over in college baseball these days. You just won't see it. Either guys are going to be to the point where they're getting drafted, think of LSU and Florida's teams over the last few years, or people are transferring. They're just leaving the program. And so I remember Coach Bolt sitting in his office before last year, before we had headed down to Arlington, and him saying, yeah, this is going to be the new norm, 26 new guys. Well, not so much this year for the 25 Huskers, because there's a lot of those guys coming back that, as you mentioned, you wouldn't otherwise have thought that maybe they would. And to have all that leadership and experience back, Coach Bolt said it when we came back from Fayetteville. You got to get old and you got to stay old to compete in college baseball these days. Yeah, you're going to run into unicorn freshmen like Max Anderson was, and guys like that every now and again, but those are going to be few and far between. You've got to find a way to keep your nucleus together, and we're past keeping the nucleus together. You've got almost your entire chunk offensively back outside of Josh.
Well, and for the guys that are back, they better not just say, I'm a starter, because the talent they're bringing in is going to push them to bump them out of those starting spots.
There's no doubt. And then we'll just think about a guy like Rhett Stokes. You know, this was a young man that was maybe third on the depth chart at second base coming into the year. You couldn't keep him out of the lineup. I mean, all he did was hit nonstop. And so he's going to say, I'm not ready to give my job up. You know, you've got other guys that maybe have given themselves roles by de facto injuries or whatever else. Those roles aren't going to be assumed anymore. I mean, look at Tyler Stone. This is an all-conference performer by the league standards. He wasn't in the lineup at the end of the year. This could be a regular occurrence for the 25 Huskers, and I'm really intrigued to see how the fall goes, because that's a lot of times a precursor to how things go in the spring. Some guys, like a Max Butenbach, I don't think that we left Stillwater going, oh, this guy's going to be in the lineup next year, but maybe now that he is. And guys like Will Jeske and other guys that you saw little flashes of, what type of jump forward do they take in the fall could determine a lot.
Well, you mentioned, let's switch gears. You mentioned how fast summer goes. 4 weeks from Saturday, you'll be sitting in here with DB and doing Husker Game Day. How about that?
Yeah, so
it's nice to be sitting here, right?
Yes,
And not some foreign stadium.
And no question. And to do so on an you know, not in Ireland or not in Minneapolis, where it wasn't just a road game, it was a big one right out of the gate for Matt Rule. It's kind of my tradition that, you know, when we used to go to media days, I'd come back on that Monday and whip open my outline. Well, now that I'm not going to media days, I was able to do it while it was going on. I just to pull it up and look at it, and it's just like, okay, like I don't want the first time that I look at it to be 2 to 3 weeks before kickoff, and just to start to get that in your brain again of, yeah, it's right around the corner. Pre-game shows are going to be here. The feeling around where we're sitting right now in just a few weeks is going to be completely different, and it's the time of year that we all just love.
First time since 19, we're going to open at home. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's how we got here. I mean, it was the COVID year, and then it was Ireland, and then it was a Thursday night in Minneapolis to open a head coaching tenure. Just really obscure. Then the Illinois road game on an early week. It was just really, it's been really weird the last 4 to 5 years with how we've ended up starting seasons. And now with the expanded conferences, you weren't quite sure, you know, what the future of a non-con schedule is going to look like. TV drives everything, and you know, we're just kind of at the mercy of what they want to do with the scheduling. But I'm really glad that the Husker fans are going to be able to get their first taste at Memorial Stadium.
And not just one, but 4.
Yeah.
4 straight at home.
Yeah, you should be able to get somewhat of a routine rhythm down before you head out.
You know, this was pointed out at Big Ten Media Days. There's not one conference game week 1.
Wow.
And that's surprising. Going back to what you said, you would think the TV partners were going, you got to give us a conference game every week. But nobody's playing a conference game week 1.
You think you go all the way back to like J.K. Dobbins' freshman year opening up at Indiana. And like I think it was Ohio State again playing Minnesota the next year. Like just big games right out of the chute with it's not just like they're throwing Purdue and Minnesota on there. You're getting Ohio State, and you're getting some heavy hitters right out of the chute. Now, it wouldn't be a season opener in Big Ten without a Howard-Rutgers matchup to open the season, but no, it's great. And the schedule this year with the expanded conference is just going to get more and more interesting every week.
All right, the guys are moving in the dorms tomorrow. Practice starts Wednesday. Give me a couple things you're interested in going into camp.
Well, I'm going to leave the quarterback situation alone. I think that's going to be talked about plenty over the next few weeks. To me, it's the secondary. How do those guys bounce back after a coaching change? You're losing, obviously a guy that's played a lot of snaps for you before at corner, and you lost another one in the spring game that they thought might potentially be a starter too. Can Tommy Hill be that every down guy at corner? Almost needs to be right now. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on 31 to bring it every snap. Safety, I think, is interesting because you're getting some guys back from injury. So the secondary to me is one that I'm certainly watching, and I'm still kind of salivating over receiver. I got to see some of these guys go make plays. I think to me that was you look at the rushing totals from last year, and Nebraska's right at the top of the list, and you're wondering how weren't we better? And the answer was we couldn't throw the football consistently. And I'll never forget the comment DB made. I believe it was the Michigan State game when he said, I think it was Wisconsin. It was the Wisconsin game where he goes, do you call what's working or do you call what you can do? Because every passing play, look at it. He's open, he's open, he's open. And if you're Coach Satterfield going, well, what do? I'm calling the right plays. My guys aren't executing. Or do we just hand the ball off in a phone booth and hopefully get 10 yards at a time? So I'm hoping that goes away, and when guys are open, those are big plays, and those are catches, and those are first downs, and you're keeping guys on their heels. And so that receiving core interests me a lot, going back to the days where you had Westy and Q and, Stanley Morgan and these guys that could just go make plays for you. I feel like it's been a little while since Nebraska's had a nucleus of this talented, and so hopefully make that quarterback's job a little bit easier.
Got to take care of the ball.
Yeah.
Minus 17. It was remarkable that we won 5 games at minus 17.
Well, and you just think, the most recent memory, right? The Iowa game. Like, that was the key to the entire football game. And I know people hate us talking about it on the pregame show all the time, but you just pick a game that the turnovers happen, and you say, yeah, well, if it wasn't for this play or this pick or this fumble, the Huskers win that game. And they're probably going to a bowl game.
Right. Well, enjoy August, because then it goes. 2 bye weeks. Well, 2 bye weeks during the season. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, 2 bye weeks is interesting. Wish they would give the Kansas City Chiefs another one of those. They got hosed with their bye weeks.
They did.
This year. But, yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm excited for the football season to get back, and I'll probably feel like I got 2 nights sleep before I'm sitting where you're sitting doing a pregame show.
I need to lift that chair up a little higher for DB. I meant to ask you when we were talking baseball, how much are you enjoying watching the 4 Huskers in the major leagues right now? Isn't that awesome?
Twice we've had Husker versus Husker matchups. It's just been awesome, and to think about their paths to get there, and they've been told ad nauseum when you watch their team's broadcasts. They've told their story. Matt Waldron's gotten a ton of play. Of course, the knuckleball has been a big topic of conversation. He dipped his toe in the majors last year, but to see Cade and Spence go almost like start for start has been really cool. And the irony that the Orioles played the Braves, like not only that they played one another, but they both pitched not only in the series, but in the same game. Seeing Coach Bull on both, I flipped back and forth on both broadcasts to make sure I didn't miss him. That was one of the coolest things I've got to experience. We saw Spence's parents at East Lansing. They came to the Michigan State to support the Huskers, and it's just. Cade's dad is always tweeting at me to this day about Husker baseball. So it's just so cool to see their kids live out their dreams, and those guys just go. And Spence the other day against the Mets, dominant, 11 strikeouts. That was pretty cool.
87 pitches. It's all the way through. To do that with all those strikeouts, hard to do.
Really cool.
Cade pitching tonight also shows you how good that 21 team was.
Yeah, that wasn't a fluke. That wasn't a
because you had Bryce and Max too,
and they held the lead in the 8th inning against the #1 team in the country, and we're 6 outs away from going to a super.
Yeah, oh boy. All right, enjoy August because once we go, we go.
I will. I'm ready for it.
Ben McLaughlin with us here. Hey, Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back with more of the show coming up next.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting major Macy Byers with Campus News. A surgical robot developed by UNL professor Shane Ferreter has received FDA approval, paving the way for greater access to advanced medical procedures in rural areas. The FDA approval followed a successful test of the robot aboard the International Space Station in February. The test involved months of preparation for UNL faculty and students working in close collaboration with NASA to launch and deliver the robot.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
When it comes to finding your next vehicle, Woodhouse Buick GMC has you covered. Whether you're looking for the luxury of a Buick Enclave or the rugged capability of a GMC Sierra, our friendly and knowledgeable staff are here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your needs. Stop in today or visit us online at woodhousebuickgmc.com and check out all our current offers going on now. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Get signed up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee, the official grocery partner of Husker Athletics and your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Go visit your local Hy-Vee today. I was in there Saturday doing some shopping at Hy-Vee. Everybody was so nice, friendly, helpful. Helped me find something I couldn't find, so it was a very productive trip.
Gotta love Hy-Vee. I signed up for their perks program.
Oh, you might as well. You get discounts on gas.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
It's been good so far. It's right over there by my apartment, so it's nice and convenient.
Very good. We do want to remind everybody that the Big Red Preview put on by 1890 is Saturday night at Memorial Stadium, a chance for you to go watch. The Huskers go to their fourth practice of the year. Practice starts Wednesday. $25 gets you in the door. It goes to the football side of the NIL project, so the money raised that night will go to Matt Rule's football program. And so Big Red Preview. Saturday night, go watch practice. It's supposed to cool down just a smidge on Saturday night, so it may not be awful. Plus, there should be plenty of shade parts of the stadium by the time they go on the practice field. So Big Red Preview Saturday night at Memorial Stadium. Can't wait to hear from the coach tomorrow. We've talked to both coordinators here in the last couple days. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm more anxious to hear what you get up with the players, how excited they are to get this camp going tomorrow.
Yeah, and moving into the dorms. I'm sure they'll be asked about that a lot, too. I just feel for, like, the tall guys, and the bigger guys, that those are pretty small beds that they have to sleep in for, 2 weeks, 10 days?
You don't think Ty Robinson will be covered? Will his toes be out from underneath the sheets?
Yeah, I think some of their feet will be hanging off the edge, but they made it work last year, so. And, they talked about how important that was, bringing them together and, just all the things, all the little intricacies that Coach Rule and the staff do to make sure that this team is bonding and, the building that culture. It just, they ended up, as much as you dread it maybe going into it, by the end of it, I think a lot of them were pretty appreciative of the time that they had there in the dorms.
Jess, I got asked this question on the weekend. I'm going to ask you. I was talking with a friend about Ndamukong Suh and how dominant he was. And by the way, there was a college football thing that came out today and named him the best college football player this century. I mean, we're 23 years into this century, and Suh's name was number 1 on the list, and I'm not going to argue with that. Ndamukong had a mean streak to him. And I had a guy ask me the other day about, do we have players that have a mean streak to them on this current team? And one name that came to mind is I think Isaac Gifford can get a little mean. That was one name that came to mind. But if I ask you that question, who is anybody pop into your head?
Ty Robinson immediately. Ty's a mean. He can be pretty mean out there, and he's got that flip that switches, the flip switch, the switch that flips, where he is so mean, can be so mean on the field, but then is just the nicest guy off of it. And I feel like the best football players have that. Was Suh like that?
Oh my gosh, he'd step on your throat and not even look back.
But once he was off the field, was he like the nicest guy? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I had great conversations, and folks, I'm still trying to catch that rascal to get him on the show after going to the Hall of Fame. He did. He had split personalities, and that's a rare trait, right? To have somebody who can turn it on and off.
Yeah, and I feel like some of the best players have that. And so Ty Robinson immediately comes to mind. Let's see here. Isaac Gifford, yeah.
What about Nash?
Nash, yeah, absolutely. I think Nash has that. I think a few of the defensive linemen certainly have that in them. Where they're pretty mean and nasty on the field. Let's see here.
Because so many of them are so nice, and it's not a bad quality, but in the sport of football, because it is a violent sport, you need somebody that will want to grab you by the throat and now and then. So I'm glad we're having this discussion, and I agree with you on Ty. I do. I think I do see that from Ty.
Yeah, absolutely. He immediately, when you brought that up, my mind immediately went there with him. I'm trying to think, too. There's got to be, I think Thomas Fidone has that in him a little bit. I think once he settles in and becomes the kind of all-around player that we heard Coach Satterfield talking about earlier, I think he could have that meanness, that nastiness in him. I think, Lindenmeyer is a little bit that way.
Yes. And off the field, they say he's like a coach in waiting.
Yes.
That he does stuff. And we heard Marcus Saterfield in the last hour talked about how much he appreciates Luke and how much he helps him and is kind of a leader in that room, even though he doesn't play maybe as much as Nate Borkature does or Thomas Fidone. But that's interesting. You get that great perspective being down the sideline. You can see some of that way more than I can 6 stories up on a game day.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where there was a story that I remember that led me, but I don't remember the details, but there was something that happened with Ty that immediately made me think that. But I can't remember what it was, but you think about a guy like Cam Jurgens had that in him a little bit, right?
He sure did.
And
he sure did.
Maybe some of the offensive linemen will have that in him. I could see a guy like Micah Mazuka having that in him a little bit. I don't know him well enough to know, but I could see him he's had a little bit of some tuffles. What is that word? Some scuffles with some guys.
Tussles.
Yeah, tussles. Yeah. I was confusing scuffles and tuffle. What did you just say?
Tussle.
Tussle.
Like Tussle.
Scuffle and tussle. I was confusing those.
Yeah.
But I could see him maybe being that way.
I agree. No, I think he definitely could be that. And again, there's so many new faces on this football team. We don't know all their personalities yet. We don't know how they will all react on an actual game day. We've met them, talked to them, watched them go through practice in the spring. But it's a whole different thing when somebody's wearing a different colored uniform on the other side of the ball from you, how you're going to react to those guys. for the 12 Saturdays in the fall. But I thought it was an interesting question, and I thought it was interesting to throw that out there tonight to have people think about that. So Shane wants to know, does Dowdell have a mean streak? Shane, I don't know that we know yet.
Yeah.
We haven't seen enough of Dante yet to know whether he does get kind of agitated and mean. I think, we get to the first bye week in mid-October, I think we'll have a much better feel for the personality of this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone brought up, I think it just went by, but someone had brought up, maybe it was Sam in Omaha, he just texted in again, but brought up Garrett Nelson. That was a name I thought of past guys that had a mean streak in them that was really nice off the field.
God, he was the nicest guy.
Yeah, he still is. I still love seeing Gene Ellie on the sideline. He's so great.
Yeah, good guy to have on there. All right, folks, you have some thoughts, fire away, text, or on the chat room. Love the interaction we're getting tonight here on the program. As we get close to camp opening, everybody reports to the dorms tomorrow. First practice on Wednesday. Full media onslaught tomorrow. The head coach, the coordinators will all meet with the media tomorrow. A handful of players. We'll have a full recap on the program for you tomorrow night. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with our weekend winners next.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska. Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Monday night. Time for this weekend's winners. Before we do that, I do want to say we will be here all week. Our best of shows are done for the summer, so we're going to have a Friday night show for the first time in a couple of months. Looking forward to that on Friday night.
Friday party show.
Question. Yeah, Crypto was asking that, so I figured I'd throw that out there. All right, Jess, what do you have for a weekend winner?
Okay, so I think I'm going to go with Steven Nedorozic and the Olympic men's USA, Team USA. They won bronze today, the first medal for this team, for the men's gymnastics team since 2008. But Steven Nedorozic is Penn State. He graduated from Penn State, or is a Penn State Nittany Lion, but he's an event specialist, only does the pommel horse, and it came down to him. He sat there all competition, and he just had one event to deliver the medal, and he delivered it. He's kind of, a lot of people call him a little bit of a nerdy. He takes off his glasses. And he's an engineering guy, but it came down to him, and he ends up delivering, and so the team USA wins a bronze medal and first medal for that team since 2008. But also, too, did want to give a shout out to Ethan on our chat, one of the OGs. He and his family welcome in their daughter over the weekend, Sutton Josephine Weiss, and we need to send her some Husker power. She's in the NICU, but they're hoping to bring her home on Thursday. But congratulations and welcome to the world, Sutton.
Oh, fantastic. That is great, and we'll be sending our prayers out to get her out of that NICU unit really quick. Yeah, that guy was wearing glasses. He put them on pretty quick after he got done with it. He must not be able to see really at all because he put them on pretty quick when he got done with the event today. But the Big Ten was really well represented on that men's team. You had some Michigan athletes, Penn State. I think it's kind of cool. Even on the women's side, you've got more gymnasts that are competing in college as well. That never used to happen. If you went to college, your chance to compete worldwide was kind of over. That's not the case anymore. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been cool to see. It's great for the sport, too, is that sport continues to grow. It makes it more interesting to watch because USA Women's Gymnastics is huge, and it's one of the most watched events every 4 years. And so the fact that those Olympians are then going to college, it also helps raise the intrigue in that sport as well. But, yeah, it was funny because he put on his glasses right away. He when he took them off, it was like he was squinting and he couldn't really see, and then he puts them right back on. But it was fun. It was I'm glad he delivered because that's a lot of pressure to sit there cold all day. They kept referring to it as like the field goal kicker that's been iced and has to come in and hit a 60-yarder to win a big game, but he delivered. So I was glad for him and Team USA.
I'm glad he could just see the handles on the pommel horse. Right? Don't lose the handles.
Yes, exactly.
Camden, what do you have?
All right. There's so many different choices we could have chosen from this weekend, but I'm going to go with a 17-year-old golfer from Omaha named Trevor Gucheski. He's committed to play golf at Florida, but over the weekend he won the junior amateur title for the U.S. Golf Association. He was kind of an underdog, too, compared to the guy he was up against, but other people that have won this tournament, for example, are Tiger Woods, Jordan Spieth, and Scotty Scheffler.
Wow.
So,
very good company, right?
Very good company for him. And like I said, kind of an underdog, and it went into a playoff, and really cool story there for Gucheski.
Well, you took mine, darn it, but I'll have one for you. But his dad is Scott. Scott was a golfer here at Nebraska, goes to Omaha West Side, and it was just a phenomenal run that he had to go through that. And that is a prestige, like you rattle those names off, that is a prestigious title to get. And he did it at Oakland Hills Country Club, which is one of the premier golf courses in the country. So congratulations, Trevor. That is amazing for him to get that done. I'm going to go Jack McVeigh, the former Husker basketball player, 13 points in Team Australia's first round win. They play again tomorrow morning at 6:30 in the morning, and so Jack not only made the team, but 13 points in his Olympic debut. That's awesome. One of the nicest guys. He never really started at Nebraska. He played under Tim Miles, but he was kind of the leader of the bench mob. This was a group of guys that would kind of do little chants and stuff. I know the women kind of had a similar thing a few years ago, but Jack was the one that kind of organized it when he was playing on the men's squad here at Nebraska. Very friendly guy, very popular guy. And to see him go out and put 13 points on the board, that was fantastic. So men's basketball tomorrow, both K-Say and Jack teams will play. Hopefully K-Say gets some PT. Got to get him off that bench. Jack's got to get him in the game.
I know. He can bring some fireworks. He can spark a team, as we've seen. We here in Lincoln know all too well what he can do and what he can provide, a spark. So bring him in. Let him get shooting out there.
Absolutely. Tomorrow night, full recap of the football media day. Head coach Matt Rule comments from his press conference. Jess will talk to some of the players. We'll recap it all for you tomorrow night on the show. Thanks to Camden for steering the ship. You all have a great night. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by